There are days that seem harmless, ordinary even, until you look back and realize that they were the beginning of the end. This is the story of the weekend that shattered the illusion I was living in, the weekend that finally revealed what her eyes had been hiding for far too long. The most expanded version of your story, Ultra Cinematic Edition. If I'm being honest, the story didn't start that morning. It didn't start with her tone, or her irritation, or even with her secretive behavior. It started weeks, maybe months before that. But the human mind isn't good at recognizing emotional danger until it's staring you in the face. We ignore shifts in energy, changes in behavior, little inconsistencies, because accepting them means accepting that the person you love might be drifting away. So we tell ourselves, she's just tired, she's stressed from work, she's overwhelmed. And I did that too. I told myself those lies for longer than I should have. But on that morning, the truth didn't hide. It stepped into the room with her. Her expression wasn't just annoyed, it was haunted, like someone who'd been awake too long, thinking about things they didn't want to say out loud. "You need to apologize," she said. Her voice wasn't angry, it was sharp. It cut through the quiet like a blade. It wasn't the words, it was the urgency, the almost desperate demand for control, as if she needed me to be wrong so she could avoid admitting something she had done. For not replying last night. I stood there, still caught between sleep and reality, unable to understand why something so small mattered so much. I told her I had fallen asleep, but her explanation didn't touch her. She wasn't looking for clarity, she was looking for justification for her own guilt. One day you wake up and realize your partner has been fighting you for mistakes you didn't make because they're trying to silence their own. But I apologized anyway, because apologizing felt easier than trying to decode her emotions before we even packed the car. The apology didn't melt her frustration. If anything, it deepened her restlessness. She walked around with the kind of energy people carry when they're hiding something, the kind of anxiety that leaks through their body language even when their words claim everything is fine. And then her phone buzzed. She froze, like she recognized the vibration pattern, like she already knew who it was. Her hand moved faster than normal, quick, controlled, almost too practiced, as she picked up the phone and typed something with her thumb at a speed I had never seen before. Her entire demeanor changed, instantly. Her shoulders loosened, the tightness in her jaw softened, the tension in her eyebrows eased. A faint, involuntary smile touched her lips. She didn't have that smile for me moments before. You can't unsee that. You can pretend you didn't notice, but your mind stores it, quietly, in some dark corner, until the other pieces arrive. We got into the car, started the drive, but she wasn't present. She wasn't listening to the music, she wasn't reacting to the scenery, she wasn't engaged in any conversation. Her mind was somewhere else, or with someone else. Every so often her phone would light up with a notification, and every time it did, her eyes followed the glow like she was pulled by invisible strings. And she didn't just check her phone, she protected it, tilting it away, locking it immediately, touching the side button so quickly it became a habit. These aren't the behaviors of someone who's texting a coworker. These are the behaviors of someone who is managing guilt. But I kept quiet, not because I was blind, but because sometimes silence is the only way to protect yourself until you're ready for the truth. When we arrived at our destination, everything began to unravel faster. The couple we were supposed to meet sent a message. They were sick. They couldn't come. I felt disappointed. She reacted like the world had collapsed. Her face fell, her body stiffened, her voice trembled with frustration she couldn't explain. This ruins everything. What's the point of being here now? This weekend wasn't supposed to go like this. Her reaction made no sense for a simple cancellation, unless the plan she lost wasn't the one she told me about. She wasn't upset about missing a couple. She was upset that the emotional cover she thought she'd have was gone. Without other people around, she had fewer distractions, fewer hiding places, more time alone with her guilt. And guilt hates silence. We went out anyway, walked around, tried to enjoy ourselves. She laughed sometimes, but the laughter didn't reach her eyes. It felt like she was acting, performing normal, pretending everything was fine. But the truth slipped through in small moments. When she stepped away to answer messages, when she stared too long at her phone screen, when her expression tightened after reading something, when she came back from the bathroom with eyes slightly red, when she locked her phone like she was guarding a treasure she shouldn't have. People don't hide things unless those things can hurt you. That night, after alcohol softened her edges, her affection became overwhelming. But affection born from guilt is frantic, passionate but unstable, intense but inconsistent. It is less about love and more about trying to silence the voice that whispers, "You crossed a line." Afterwards, she grew quiet, withdrawn, emotionally numb. She sat wrapped in a blanket, staring at her phone like it contained both comfort and torment. And I knew something had happened long before this weekend. Something that wasn't a mistake. Something she regretted, but not enough to stop. The next morning she apologized. "I'm sorry for yesterday. I'm sorry for acting weird. I'm sorry you didn't have a good time. I'm sorry for things you don't know." That line burned itself into my brain, because you don't apologize for hidden things unless they're eating you alive. We drove home in silence, a silence heavier than anything said out loud. When we entered the house, she grabbed her phone, changed her password, turned off previews, disabled notifications, erased threads. She didn't even wait, not an hour, not a few minutes, not a moment of hesitation. She went straight into self-protection mode. And that alone told the truth she wasn't willing to say. The truth is simple. She had emotionally left me before she physically returned to me. She had given someone else the part of her that used to be mine, her attention, her curiosity, her excitement, her energy, her secrets, her late-night thoughts. The betrayal didn't happen on the weekend. The weekend simply revealed what had already been happening. Looking back now, I realized the signs were always there. The sudden anger at small things, the way she demanded apologies for harmless mistakes, the way she lit up when her phone buzzed, the way she deflated when I entered the room, the way guilt twisted her words into apologies she couldn't explain, the way her eyes avoided mine at moments when honesty would have mattered most. You don't lose someone all at once. You lose them in seconds, tiny, forgettable seconds that add up until the person beside you becomes a stranger holding a secret they're terrified you'll uncover. And that weekend was the weekend my eyes finally opened. If you've ever felt your partner slipping away through the little things, the silences, the mood shifts, the guarded phone, the unexplained emotions, you're not alone. Your story matters. Your voice matters. And sometimes sharing it is the first step towards healing.